What's up guys, welcome back to How to Rip. This is Kale here, and today we're going to cover one of the most requested topics of the year, and that is how to take off and generate speed. Let's get into it. If you're new here, this is Lesson of the Week, a show where we dissect a new surf tip every single week, looking at the art of surfing. So make sure you subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss out. Everything in surfing, from airs like this, to turns like this, and tubes like this, are all dependent on the ability to take off successfully on a wave, and the generation of speed and direction thereafter. But in the beginning, not many people get it right, and that's why taking off and generating speed can be a big speed bump in terms of beginners advancing their skills to the next level. In order to take off successfully on a wave, a surfer must be in the right position to catch it. Sometimes, in the beginning stages of your surfing career, this might mean being in front of the whitewater of a wave. But today we're going to focus on catching a wave before it is broken, just like this. I've broken down the takeoff segment of surfing into three parts, and those parts are catch, pop up, and look. The catch refers to catching the wave in the right spot, but also being ready to adjust your pop up accordingly. And of course, the pop refers to that pop up, arguably one of the trickiest parts of any sort of beginner surfer's career, and arguably the more detailed of the three. And the last one, of course, the look, refers to where you look during the takeoff and of course after you get to your feet. Many people only think about the pop part of taking off, but I'm here to tell you that the other two components, the catch and the look, are both integral to you successfully getting up on a wave every single time. Let's look at the catch component of standing up and generating speed. Positioning yourself on your surfboard with the nose of the board just outside the water is going to be key when paddling into a wave. See here as the surfer paddles strongly into the wave right in the pocket. He's not too close to the breaking whitewater, but he's not too far away either. Being in this zone is crucial to a successful takeoff. Something very, very crucial to note is how the surfer has been picked up and lifted by the wave first before he initiates his pop-up. Often, beginners try to take off too soon and end up falling off the back of the wave, like this. In this example, the surfer feels under his chest that the surfboard is well and truly picking up the energy of the wave, and he is about to be catapulted down it. This catch component is crucial to understand before we move on to the pop component. The pop-up can be the most difficult aspect of beginner surfing for some, but trusting the process will eventually result in you being able to take off instinctively like this. For this section, I actually wanted to dissect for you how the best in the world pop up on their surfboards rather than showing you another clip of myself or Ryan. So this is from the WSL event at Kelly Slater's wave pool. Obviously a very controlled environment and a good place for us to actually examine how professional surfers take off. So the first surfer we have here is Carissa Moore. And you'll notice that she's actually gone through the catch phase, the catch component of this wave. And note how she's not too close to the lip here. The wave is just about to break. She's not too far away so that she misses the section. She's right in the golden zone, essentially. So see, now that Carissa feels the lift of the board, which indicates that she's on the wave, she brings her hands down below her chest. So her elbows come up to the sides and they actually grab the rail almost, so almost the tips of the fingers might be curved over the rail. A lot of people say this doesn't happen, but if you watch professional surfers, oftentimes the fingertips are close to the rail or wrapping over it. Ideally, you do actually want most of the hand on the deck of the board itself to prevent slowing down or catching too much water with your hand and it getting in the way. But notice how she's actually down here to the side of the board and she's going to press up in a moment here. So notice also how her chest is lifted in this point. This is really key, and a lot of people don't develop enough musculature in their back to be able to do this properly. She's caught the wave, she's gone through the catch component, she's ready to pop up. So first thing she does is elbows come up, boom, and then she's going to lift her chest and she'll slowly bring her feet through. So notice that position there. So see how the hands there, the fingers, are almost wrapping around the deck of the board there. And notice how she's used those as almost like a position of contact with the surfboard to actually lever herself and lever her front leg through. See how it's going to come through her hands like a yogic movement. It's going to come through her hands onto the deck of the surfboard. Right there. See how quick that whole takeoff process was. Her feet have landed in the perfect position. Her front foot is in the center of the board. Her back foot's going to be near the tail where she can generate a lot of speed and flow and control. And her core is switched on throughout this whole time. So let's have a look at another surfer. So let's have a look at Gabriel Medina now, arguably one of the best surfers in the world. He's gone through the catch phase of the takeoff and he's ready to go through the pop phase. Again guys, look at where his arms are. He knows he's on the wave. He's felt the rise of his surfboard indicating he's on the wave. He's not too close to the power source here. He's not too far away to miss the wave. He brings his hands under his chest, his back arches, so the upper thoracic part of the spine arches into a banana shape. He's looking down the line because he's going to adjust how his feet land in his foot positioning and what he first does when he gets up based on what he sees. His hands are under here. Again, fingertips are going to be close to the rails, possibly even wrapping over. This is a thing. And he's going to use his arms, use all the strength that he's built in his arms over that time as a lever on which to swing his front leg through. For him, it's going to be his right foot. He's going to swing that through to land on the deck of the board. Just watch how quick it happens. So notice how his feet are actually quite close together when he gets up. He's got a flat back here, he's got an arched back, and his core is switched on, enabled to better enable him to actually create enough space for his legs to move through and stand up on the surfboard. It's just like doing a burpee on land. And notice he takes quite a thin stance here, or a narrow stance, right about there. And that's because this first little initial turn, look where he wants to go on a wave. He wants to build some speed here. So what he's done, boom, straight up into that turn. Then the back foot adjusts and he's straight back into the wave and ready to do some high performance surfing. So this is how two of the best surfers in the world pop up, and I think that we should try to emulate them as much as possible.
For a beginner-friendly stepping stone option to taking off, sometimes, entering a drop knee position can be a good midpoint between lying down and standing up. But making a habit of this is not a good idea because it is simply not a very stable position.
When we look down the line, this results in a kinetic chain of events all the way down to our hips, our knees, and our toes, which ultimately are responsible for moving us in the direction that we see. The last component of the takeoff ties in with the generation of speed for the rest of our wave. It turns our takeoff into a valuable tool which affects the rest of our ride.
The look is basically where you set your eyes to during the takeoff. This is important because, as we've said in all our past videos, where you look is where you go. Notice here how throughout the takeoff, the surfer is looking toward the direction where he intends to go on the wave. This also allows the surfer to, very importantly, assess the best line to take once he has reached his feet. It may be a fast wave like this, which requires the surfer to quickly pump to the top of the wave to build speed to pass a fast section. Or it could be a slow wave, like this, where the surfer can stand up and go straight to the bottom of the wave to perform a nice turn.
The look is an incredibly important factor in determining the outcomes of our ride. As we've spoken about in previous videos, where you look is essential in determining where you go on a wave. It sounds really logical, doesn't it?
Once the surfer has taken off, notice how he uses his ankles, knees, hips and upper body to rock back and forth from rail to rail to build and then maintain speed throughout his ride. Often, the initial turn once he has stood up is to get back to the top of the wave and into the pocket. Now this is done to harness all the power the wave has to offer and is the position where the most speed points can be earned. By going up and down the wave on the board, he's able to generate a stack load of speed which he can unload into an awesome turn.
So what do you guys think? Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that like button down below. If you want to stay up to date with me and my daily surfing experiences, come and join me over on Instagram at Kale's Broccoli. It's on your screen now. And hey, let me know in the comments below what else you want to see on the show. What are you struggling with? Your comments direct us in terms of determining the type of content we produce each week. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Yep.